Hey Christian. So like I said, just to go ahead and get you started, I worked a little bit on your model. I want to show you a couple things that I know uh, one thing in terms of your time management issue is using your time wisely, and I would suggest always trying to be organized. So for example, I organized your model just to show you how I do it. So you had a bunch of just kind of stuff like these cutting volumes and some basic lines are left over. Rather than deleting them, I just put them in this grab bag set of layers so that I could keep them. I didn't, maybe you want them for something. Then I made two iterations of your building. You had this one over here that I don't know if you still wanted it or not, so I left it there. The second iteration has all this stuff in it that seems like the main building. And there, we're only going to focus on this one room over here in terms of lighting, so I am not going to need to have the roof on. I created this floor and roof and made a separate set of layers, so I usually create a set of layers for each type of simulation I'm going to do. So here I said lighting. I'm doing it in the dining room. I've got floor's down here, which maybe I didn't change. Let's see. So here's the ceiling and the floor. Let me see where I have that. Nope, I had the wrong place. So I'm going to put that on the floor. Okay. All right. And then I created two different sets of lights, and so I might even go a step further here. I might say um, lighting, and then pull these into there. Whatever. I'm just saying, be organized in a way that makes sense to you. I'm going to go to wireframe so I can see what's going on. And this is the result of the first simulation. I'm actually going to come in here into my results and turn it off so I don't have anything. And see then, so I have on uh, the first simulation I ran was with the two lights that you had chosen, and then I just copied them and added more. Um, for some reason, so this is the layer that Climate Studio creates, is this one called Climate Studio Luminaire. And I couldn't get it to there's a little thing at the top of these lights. Oops, sorry. See that little, this is the thing you actually select to move the light, but I couldn't get it off of this layer for some reason, so I just left this layer. But then if the lights themselves are on um, these other two layers. All right, so then um, I ran it, and I ran two simulations. I named them in a way that would make sense to me. So we had that two at means two lights, so that's the first one we did here. And there were 6-inch downlights at 45 watts, and that was the result we got. I think that um, the way you had it set up, I couldn't see the names. You actually were in inch pound units, which is what we use in the US. These are foot candles. And so 9 foot candles is not a tiny amount. Um, we're shooting for, and if you go in that assignment, let's say this is a dining room, I would say that's going to be between 300 and 500 lux. Lux is just the unit of measure for how much light is hitting a surface. All you need to understand here is that we're saying our target for this room is between 3 and 500 lux as a mean. The mean means the average. Median, don't even worry about this statistical thing. It really doesn't make sense for us here. Let's just keep with the mean. So we're trying to get this to be between 3 and 500. Or if we were in foot candles, it's about 10. So this could be between, well, actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, between 330 and 50. But let's just stay with lux. Um, if you don't see this, you can change this value in a lot of different places. Anyway, just saying that there's units involved here. So this is the first one you ran. You actually did get 9 foot candles. So that's not, it's not ridiculous. We want to get to 300. We're at 95. Um, and so it was working. Then if I change it to this 6 light layout, I've got about almost 300, so I'm pretty good there already. And this is, the lights that were on were that set up. But when we're looking at the outputs, we don't really need anything on over here. I could turn all this off and just look at the lights. Just look at my outputs. So what could I learn here? Well, I could definitely just come in here and pump up. Let me just do this. I'm going to go to instead of 42 watts, I'm going to go to the same thing. 8. That's going to be way too much. I could add another set of lights. Let me see. But we'll just show you. If I change this from 42 to 85, it's going to be way more than we need. Illuminate. I got to turn my building back on. Make sure that, by the way, here's another thing. I think, and you did this, that was good, is that I need to have materials selected for all of anything that's going to be on in the model. So I've got those walls inside. The windows, actually would want them on the ceiling too. That'll change it a little bit. I'm going to even just try that. I'm going to put a white ceiling. This in itself, I know there's one right here that's really reflective, this one. That might even do it. Let's see what happens if I run that. Yeah, you see, I didn't, oh, I did, wait, let me stop it. I'm going to delete this one. Might not do it, but and I'm actually going to go change, I know I'm moving quickly, but you can slow this down, or I think you've already, I mean, you don't need to know all this stuff. I'm just playing around now. I'm going to change all of this to this white. And you see here, this is saying how reflective it is. So that's saying how much light's going to reflect off of it. The window, that's fine because we're not using the windows for this. So the walls, and we don't really have much wall because the windows are there. So that's another reason that we're not probably getting a lot of reflection off that, or you might, I don't know. So let me come back to my luminaires, edit those. I'm going to go back to that 42 watt and see if that changing the ceiling did anything. Run it. Let's see, our last one was 2.8. Yeah, it didn't really do hardly anything. It might, no, it's not. So making the ceiling white didn't really improve anything. So now I'm going to go back. So I'm going to say white ceiling. Now I'm going to go back and make sure that's saved. Change those lights like I said I was going to do. So I'm going to change this to 85 watts. Run it. Now we're already seeing that we're getting actually above. We wanted to be between 300 and 500. We're more than we wanted to. It's definitely much more of a hot spot here in the middle. That's kind of way too much probably for most activities. I don't care about that. I just want you to get some kind of output that that makes some kind of sense. And you can see obviously that we can just keep switching this and getting this however we wanted to. There's lots of things we can do, but just get something that goes between, let's say your target is 300 to 500 lux, get something that worked. I've already kind of done it for you, but maybe you just want to change this one and get it to where you're at 300 watts here. Say 85 watts. All right, hope that helps. Let me know what I can do for you.